Diatec 2011, but Fiera Bolzano, Messe Bozen has other ambitious projects in this sector.
The first edition of TrafficInfraTech in India in New Delhi in the February of this year, and it was a very good start with about 18 exhibitors and more than 7,000 visitors. We are sure that in the collaboration with our Indian and with the other Italian partner, we can contribute to important infrastructures with European standard.
Big growing countries invest a lot in infrastructures. That's the basis for an economic development. In your opinion, how can Europe, Italy, and in particular South Tyrol help them to do good business and investments?
Our region over here in the Alpine zone is very rich on the basis of the nature and on the basis of human resources. And it was always a big issue to travel from the north to the south of Europe crossing our country over here of South Tyrol. And therefore I'm very much convinced that from this region out we can offer to Europe not only important knowledge, but we can offer them also a spirit and for sure also an excellent organized environment. This must be our first issue, together with the agriculture. Secondly, we should develop, together with the University of Bolzano, in a network of the European universities, a young generation which are emotionally driven also further to knowledge, to the spirit of research and studies. And third, the population is very bounded to the roots. And we do have over here a very interesting mix between two different cultures, and therefore this learning process is very important for a European community, how different populations can come together.
These countries can build very well, but it seems that they need to improve the way they can manutempt the infrastructure. How can we help them to do that?
This specific Alpine region was always crossed by very important, not infrastructures, but specifically, but it was always a corridor. And therefore, already 150 years ago, they built the now existing railway infrastructure. In 1972, they opened the highway infrastructure, and now we are trying to create, together with the Brenner Tunnel, the European 10 corridor number 1. So actually what we have learned over here was to reflect the whole cycle, starting with the design of an infrastructure, realize them, construct them, and later on install a very important organization dealing with maintenance, with monitoring, and finally what we are doing now on a scientific basic to establish the so-called life cycle design. This has been developed mainly also on an operational way over here in this specific country. And what we're trying to do is now to develop that further together with research institutes and bring that to a worldwide application in order to conclude the cycle for the infrastructure, starting with the design and ending with the maintenance and with the inspection and monitoring of the structures.
How is your vision about the situation of traffic in India? And if you can take part as a referent in a congress in India, what kind of topics and highlights you would like to talk about?
India is a highly populated country. I was, during my university study, stayed together with Indians, and we studied together. I know them quite well, and I know that they are very excellent scientists as well. So what we can transfer to this country is actually the knowledge how to build sustainable structures, including a whole life cycle approach, in a way that they are not only installing and building an immediate infrastructure, but it's the kind of structure is actually belonging for a certain period of time. And this is quite important, that we can transfer to them the knowledge how to maintain, inspect and monitor infrastructures and structures.
The Trans-European Network Priority Project number 1 is one of the most ambitious in Europe, stretching from Berlin in the north to Palermo in the south, 2,200 kilometers. The hard core of it is the Brenner Tunnel. I'm very pleased that we have now brought the financial commitments to the stage of definition, where we will have our point of departure and our point of no return on the tunnel on the 18th of April of this year, and it will be one of the major projects for Europe's 21st century internal market.
And I know that it costs a lot. Is there any other project in Europe that as ambitious as this one?
There are many ambitious projects, but this project, in terms of European Union co-financing, will at this phase for the tunnel get 27% co-financing from EU budget. For the major studies being done in design and engineering, 50-50 on the financing. And this project, although there are 30 priorities, fully gets 20% of all the available funds. It is the largest amount of money ever invested by the European Union in one particular transport project. This is the flagship, and this flagship is now ready to roll.
And what's the importance of this Brenner Congress 2011 in Bolzano?
The importance is it's a major platform to communicate progress, to meet with local and national and international suppliers, people who will supply services and bring capacity and draw benefit from the project in its construction phase, and for people on the ground in chambers of commerce and businesses to begin to contemplate how can they connect to its energy and how can they find jobs and make money from it.
Talking about India, how is now the situation in India? And I want to ask you if it's growing there a market in this sector, and if you are already there or what you are planning to do there.
We have in India many clients, and we think that's a very interesting market. And we want in the next year in India to sail, and I have also project there and want in India, in the market India, exploring.
Is there in India good opportunity for your market?
Yes, actually there is, because we are already present in India, and there is big underground construction going on, especially urban transport systems and water power plants in the Himalayas. So India is for us, or let's say, emerging market and very interesting market.